Cars are getting more expensive every year, but higher prices don't always mean they last longer. Some of the cheapest cars on the market today are outliving models that cost 2 or 3 times as much. So what makes these budget rides go the extra mile? Is it smarter engineering, cheaper parts that are easier to fix, or simply brands that built a reputation on durability? The answers might surprise you. If you've ever wondered which cars will actually stay with you for the long run, here are 11 cheap models that quietly outlast their pricey rivals. Number 11. Toyota Corolla. The Corolla lasts because Toyota built it to be simple and dependable, not complicated. The engines and transmissions use proven designs and parts that are made in huge numbers, so replacement parts are cheap and widely available. That also means mechanics know these cars well, and repairs are usually straightforward. If you want one that runs a long time, start here. Check Consumer Reports for the Corolla's reliability outlook, and look at Toyota's own maintenance guide so you know what the factory recommends. Those two things explain why Corollas are kept on the road for years. See Consumer Reports on the Corolla and Toyota's warranty and maintenance guide. Look at the numbers and owner reports if you want proof. Many owner and dealer write-ups say a well-kept Corolla regularly hits 200,000 to 300,000 miles, and some go beyond that if the owner follows the basic service schedule. Local dealer blogs and owner collection pages document lots of 250,000 plus cars, which fits what larger lifespan studies show for compact cars like the Corolla. That does not mean every Corolla will reach those marks because recalls and model year issues happen, so always check the VIN for open recalls. Toyota posted recalls for some 2023 to 2025 Corolla models, and the NHTSA pages list current recall records. If you are buying used, matching a clean service history to these numbers gives you a big head start. If you want a Corolla to last, do the simple maintenance steps Toyota lists and watch a few model-specific things. Change the oil and filter on schedule, rotate tires, replace air and cabin filters, and follow the transmission and coolant service intervals in the maintenance booklet. For many Corollas, you can follow a basic routine every 5,000 to 7,500 miles for oil, and larger inspection or replacement steps at 30,000, 60,000, and 100,000 miles depending on the year. Newer Corollas with CVT automatic transmissions will need careful transmission fluid service on the specified schedule, so do not skip that. Repair cost sites show that Corolla annual repair bills are low compared with many cars, which is part of why owners keep them long. Finally, always run a VIN check on Toyota's recall page before buying to confirm whether recalls were handled. Number 10. Honda Civic. The Civic lasts for the same basic reasons as the Corolla and a few more. Honda historically used durable engine blocks and simple accessory systems, so major engine repairs are rare when the car is maintained. Parts are everywhere, and a huge network of independent mechanics know Civics well. Big data sites that track millions of used car records still put the Civic in the group of compact cars with strong longevity, and RepairPal and other ownership cost trackers show the Civic's running costs are low compared with many other models. Those two facts, easy parts and known maintenance, explain why Civics stick around. How far do they go in real life? Many Civics reach 200,000 miles, and a fair number push to 300,000 miles when owners do routine oil, coolant, and suspension care. Large datasets show different ways to measure lifespan. For example, iCars reports an average usable life figure for the Civic around 161,799 miles in one metric, while a separate iCars study listing potential lifespans ranks the Civic among cars that often go well past 200,000 miles depending on how the car was used. Dealer and owner pages also document Civics hitting high mileage. Those numbers show two things. A Civic will not magically last without care, but if past owners followed the schedule, many of these cars will outlive pricier cars that cost much more to repair. The last piece is maintenance and being picky about certain model years. Follow Honda's maintenance minder or the official schedule, get oil and filters changed at the intervals Honda recommends, and replace spark plugs and coolant at the service miles listed in the booklet. Honda also had a large steering gearbox recall. and a separate high-pressure fuel pump recall affecting recent model years. So always check that recalls were completed on any Civic you buy. Honda publishes the recall notices, and NHTSA has the formal reports and bulletins, and dealers will perform recall repairs for free. A pre-purchase inspection, plus a VIN recall check on Honda's site or the NHTSA database is the fastest way to avoid inheriting those specific problems. Do that, and a Civic will often keep running long after a more expensive car would have cost too much to fix. Number 9. Honda Fit. The Honda Fit is small but built tough. According to IC Cars, the Fit has an average lifespan of about 174,197 miles, or about 16.7 years for the people who drive it. It also has about a 31.1% chance of reaching 200,000 miles if it's well looked after. So it's not just that some Fits live long, many do. Owners regularly report that with simple care, oil changes, fluids, filter swaps, the Fit can run well past 150,000 miles. But there are real things to watch out for. Some older Fits may have issues with things like the starter, alternator, ignition switches, or sensors, especially if service history is spotty. Also, because it's small and lighter, suspension parts like shocks and bushings wear quicker than in heavy, luxury cars. If these are ignored, the ride gets bumpy and other parts can wear prematurely. Community forums like Fit Freak show examples of Fits going 230,000 plus miles, but only because people kept up with maintenance. What helps a Fit last long is regular, correct maintenance and avoiding being too hard on it. That means changing oil at the right time, replacing filters, being gentle with driving, not always hard starts, stops, keeping tires and brakes in good shape. Also checking how the car was used before you buy. A Fit that's been treated roughly or used for heavy hauling will have taken more stress. If all of that is good, a Fit is one of those cheap cars that can outlast some expensive ones because repair costs are lower, parts are common, and fewer things tend to break in complicated ways. Are you a fan of Hondas? Let us know in the comment section. Number 8. Hyundai Elantra. The Elantra is another that with the right care lasts a long time. According to RepairPal, its annual repair and maintenance cost is on average $452, which is less than many compact cars, whose average is about $526. Also, its chance of having a severe repair is 9%, which is a bit better than many compacts. Reliability ratings generally are pretty strong for the Elantra. Under many rating systems, it scores well among compact sedans. Still, there are certain model years or common issues to know. For example, some Elantras have problems with engine irregularities, airbag defects, or rough running. Also, years like 2009, 2010, 2012, 2013, and 2017 are often mentioned in years to avoid lists because those models reportedly had more frequent reliability issues. Some owners of Elantras say things like spark plug problems, oil consumption, and transmission or engine performance warnings as they accumulate miles. To get an Elantra to last long, do the same types of care. Follow the service schedule exactly. Don't skip big items like timing belt, if applicable, transmission service, coolant flushes, etc. Also check if recalls for the specific year have been done. For example, airbags, fuel pumps, or camera visibility features have been recalled in certain models. Choosing a better year helps a lot. Older years with fewer known problems, or newer ones after fixes. And buying one with good maintenance history gives you a higher chance of hitting 200,000 plus miles, which is about 320,000 kilometers without huge costs. Number 7. Mazda 3. A Mazda 3 that's well looked after can last a long time. According to Mazda of Conshohocken, a properly maintained Mazda 3 can run dependably for 200,000 to 300,000 miles and live about 15 years. The engine and transmission technologies, like Mazda's Skyactiv systems, help reduce wear by improving efficiency and lowering unnecessary strain. But there are some gotchas you should know. The Mazda 3 sedan, for example, has an average lifespan of about 134,047 miles, or about 10.3 years, according to IC Cars, when looking at a broad set of data. That lower number reflects many cars that maybe didn't get perfect care, or had heavy use, or were in harsh climates. Some Mazda 3 models have had problems with variable valve timing, VVT systems, timing chains, or software in the PCM that needed updating. Also, transmission issues show up more if the vehicle is abused or neglected. What helps a Mazda 3 last long is being religious about the small stuff. Change oil and filters on schedule. Keep up with coolant, belts, or timing chain checks depending on model year. If you live in a place with dust, heat, or salt on roads, you'll want to be extra vigilant with underbody rust and suspension components. Choosing a car with documented service history makes a real difference. Folks who drive gently, don't do a lot of stop-start in extreme heat, and keep up with minor fixes, get far more miles out of Mazda 3s, often matching or exceeding many more expensive cars in durability. Number 6. Toyota Avalon. The Avalon is built more for comfort and smoothness than for sporty compact thrills, but it has a surprising ability to rack up miles if you treat it right. iCars reports its average lifespan is about 166,128 miles, or roughly 14.4 years for the typical Avalon. It also has about a 30.1% chance of reaching 200,000 miles, which is pretty good for a large sedan. Many owners say Avalons routinely hit 200,000 to 250,000 miles if maintenance is consistent. Co-Pilot and Hot Cars articles list that range when care is good. Owners in forums report Avalons with over 300,000 miles doing fine, as long as big items like timing belts or timing chains, depending on year, alternator, and steering/handling components, get fixed when needed. Some things that help an Avalon last are driving gently, doing scheduled maintenance, as well as paying attention to cooling systems and transmission service, especially if many miles or highway driving. Also, checking recall history is key, especially in older models where certain components may have had issues. Avalons tend to be built with robust parts, but heavyweight and luxury features mean when things break, repairs can cost more. Still, because many parts are shared across Toyota, and because of the brand reputation for reliability, the Avalon ends up being a cheaper car to own long-term than many expensive luxury sedans. Before we continue, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Number 5. Toyota RAV4. The Toyota RAV4 is known for being able to go the distance if you take care of it. With regular maintenance like oil changes, fluid checks, and filter replacements, many RAV4s make it to 200,000 miles without serious trouble. Some even stretch up to 250,000 or 300,000 miles when driven gently and serviced on time. The hybrid models also hold up well, with their battery packs lasting around 10 years or about 150,000 miles before needing replacement. That doesn't mean there aren't issues. Toyota recalled nearly 1.9 million RAV4s from 2013 to 2018 because replacement batteries in those cars could shift around during sharp turns, creating a fire risk. Problems like this remind owners that it's important to check recall history when buying used. Even so, when problems are fixed quickly and the SUV is looked after, the RAV4 usually outlasts many more expensive crossovers. People who get the best out of their RAV4 are the ones who stay consistent with small things: oil on time, keeping the underbody clean in salty areas, paying attention to brakes and suspension, and staying on top of recalls. With that approach, it's one of the cheapest SUVs to own long-term because it runs for years with fewer repair headaches. Number 4. Honda CR-V. The Honda CR-V is another SUV that earns a reputation for lasting well past 200,000 miles. With good care, many owners see their CR-V reach 250,000 to even 300,000 miles. A big study found that the average CR-V lifespan is about 168,000 miles, or almost 14 years, and that nearly 30% of CR-Vs actually make it to 200,000 miles. In Canada, it's common to see them cover 300,000 to 400,000 kilometers, and some keep going all the way to 500,000 kilometers. As with any car, there are years that had more problems. Certain CR-V models have struggled with things like oil leaks, AC failures, or transmission issues. But even in those cases, consistent maintenance and quick fixes go a long way in keeping them on the road. For many families, the CR-V ends up being cheaper to own than luxury SUVs because parts are affordable and the engines are built to last. Owners who handle maintenance by the book changing fluids, watching for rust, replacing brakes and suspension on time, end up with a car that feels nearly bulletproof. That's why the CR-V is still one of the most recommended used SUVs, often outlasting pricier models that demand higher upkeep. Number 3. Mazda CX-5. The CX-5 is a compact SUV that many owners call reliable if it gets steady care. Data studies show the CX-5's average lifespan is about 163,800 miles, which is roughly 263,600 kilometers. Repair and ownership trackers score the CX-5 highly for reliability and estimate its yearly repair cost is moderate compared with other midsize SUVs. That means a lot of CX-5s live comfortably for a decade or more when owners do normal maintenance like oil changes and tire care. Real-world owner threads and dealer write-ups back this up. People who change oil, replace filters, and fix small problems early tend to see their CX-5s hit the long mileage numbers other databases report. There are a few things to watch for, so the CX-5 keeps running well. Some owners report oil consumption or carbon buildup on certain Sky-active engines if maintenance is skipped. Other common notes from owner forums are that suspension parts and thermostats can wear out like on many compact SUVs, and neglected oil or long gaps between services make problems worse. Mazda publishes a recall lookup where you can check any open recalls for your VIN, so always run that check when you buy used. Also read the maintenance schedule for your model year, because following Mazda's intervals keeps wear parts from turning into big repairs. If you want a CX-5 to last, do the basics and be proactive. Change engine oil regularly. Follow the scheduled inspections for belts, coolant, and brakes, and replace worn suspension parts before they cause secondary damage. Get a pre-purchase inspection on used cars, check the VIN for recalls, and prefer vehicles with full service records. With that approach, a CX-5 often gives many years of trouble-free driving, and repair cost trackers show it sits well versus pricier SUVs that are more costly to fix. Number 2. Honda HR-V. The HR-V is a small crossover that is generally inexpensive to own when it is kept up. Reliability trackers rate recent HR-V models very well and list low average annual repair costs compared with many small SUVs. Studies that analyze big used car datasets place the HR-V in a group that can reach the 150,000 to 200,000 mile range for many owners, depending on care and driving style. That means the HR-V will often serve a family for 10 years or more if routine maintenance is followed and the car is not driven hard every day. There are specific items to double-check on the HR-V. Some model years have had complaints about transmissions or certain electrical items. Federal safety examinations and news reports looked into power loss complaints for some AWD Honda models. And Honda has issued recalls and service campaigns over the years for things like rear-view cameras and steering components. RepairPal and the official Honda recall site list several recalls that can affect HR-Vs, so checking the VIN before purchase is important. Forums also point out that CVT transmissions need correct service intervals, and skipped fluid service can lead to trouble later on. How to keep an HR-V running long is straightforward. Follow Honda's maintenance schedule, including transmission fluid changes where recommended, and replace filters and spark plugs on time. If you own an AWD HR-V, be attentive to any unusual driveline noises and get them checked promptly, because some problems reported in past years were related to AWD components. Always get a used HR-V inspected by a mechanic and confirm that any applicable recalls have been repaired by a dealer. Do that, and an HR-V usually stays cheap to own and lasts well for typical family use. Number 1. Toyota Prius. The Prius is a hybrid that has a long track record for longevity when owners follow maintenance rules. Large data studies put the Prius's average usable life around 175,500 miles, which is about 282,500 kilometers, and show roughly a 1 in 3 chance that a Prius will reach 200,000 miles for many owners. Toyota has updated its warranty rules so that hybrid batteries on recent models are covered for 10 years or 150,000 miles, whichever comes first for modern Toyota hybrids. That warranty change reflects Toyota's confidence in hybrid systems and gives owners extra protection on a major component. Battery life and what it costs if the battery needs work are the two topics owners ask about most. Multiple service and industry sources show Toyota hybrid batteries commonly last somewhere in the 8 to 10-year range and often reach 100,000 to 150,000 miles before needing replacement. Some owners see original batteries last much longer, and others replace them earlier depending on climate and usage. Replacement costs vary a lot by region, and whether you choose a new, remanufactured, or reconditioned pack. Published service guides and repair cost trackers give ranges from about $1,000 for some rebuilt options up to a few $1,000s for new packs, and dealer labor, warranties, and dealer quotes will give you exact numbers for your model year and state. If you want a Prius to live a long time, keep the hybrid system healthy and do the usual maintenance. Drive it regularly so the battery cycles, follow Toyota's service intervals, fix small cooling or electrical issues fast, and keep brakes and tires in good order. Check the battery warranty status and get a pre-purchase hybrid system check when buying used. With routine care and an eye on battery health, many Prius owners get long service and very low fuel cost for years, often making the Prius cheaper to run than many gasoline cars despite the special components. If you enjoyed this video, let us know in the comment section down below and turn on your notifications to know when next we upload. See you in our next video. Bye-bye.